Good morning, or afternoon, or whatever it is in your time zone. Welcome to this 31st Piano Hangout stream, where I will be talking close to the microphone for that podcasting vibe, and playing some piano for y'all. Hey, Komorebi, Sean, Aaron, Xavier, Grix, Backpack Studios, hi. Scott, good morning, Scott. Rachel, hi. Small and Stas, good morning. Lots of mornings in the chat. Lots of people in the Western Hemisphere, so it seems. Rachel says, oh boy, I'm exhausted. What did you do yesterday, Rachel? Did you just have a bad night? Kind of have the weird tendency to make some coffee just before I start the stream and then realizing that I cannot talk and drink coffee at the same time. I can, however, play piano and drink coffee at the same time. Aaron says he's currently preparing to fly to Ireland. All right. What are you going to do in Ireland? I've never been there myself. I've never been to Britain either. Rachel stayed up late. I'm having the same problem this past few weeks. I bring the kid to school and then I go back to bed. No, it's not the best way to build a sleeping rhythm, honestly. So the theme of this stream is nostalgia stuff, and the reason for that is the recent wave of Mario Kart booster course tracks. One of which was a Yoshi's Island track, which was a pleasant surprise for me, because Yoshi's Island is a top 3 game. It was my favorite game back in the Super Nintendo days. And subsequent games have always felt a little bit like they're not on the same level as the original Yoshi's Island was. So the fact that they went all the way with this, including the starting music and the ending music and the victory fanfare and all that kind of stuff, and lots of lovely small details, make me feel 7 years old again. So that was a very pleasant surprise. Aaron says he's celebrating St. Patrick's Day and going to be in a parade in Dublin. Ah! Wow, that sounds like an experience. You have Irish roots or something, Aaron? Or just friends over there? So I'll just be playing some Yoshi's Island music and then also some other stuff. I've been listening to the Octopath Traveler soundtrack a lot recently, which isn't very nostalgic for me personally, because of course it's like 2018 game, so it's not that old. But it does kind of adhere to the composing principles of game music in the 90s. So I think that counts. Aaron says, I'm celebrating... Oh, Sorry, I already read that. Komorebi says, yeah, Komorebi last stream was wondering if they wanted to quit their job, and apparently they did. Komorebi says, I did a hard choice and quit my job last week. Didn't know how the company reacts, but I'm currently on sick leave. Hope you guys know what I mean. It sounds different in German. Today is Mario Day. That as well. Well, it sounds like quite a decision, Komorebi. But your mental health, goes above all else. Maybe the company will find a way to make you feel more at ease, or you'll find something that fits you more, suits you more. It's Mario Day. Yeah, that's kind of a missed opportunity, right? I should have made a Mario Day stream today, but oh well. I can always change the thumbnail later on. So folks, tell me about your big nostalgic moments. Curious about what comes to mind for you. I'll just play some Yoshi's Island. I use a nice small sounding piano. Maybe nice to do, upload a medley one day. Yeah, last stream there was also quite a bunch of people who had lagging problems, so maybe something weird is going on with the YouTube backend this month. Oh, I like stacking myself some fourths. Oh yeah, baby. Should really make t-shirts or something. Go stack some fourths. And of course the Cocofication t-shirt is still on the way. The underground version, yeah. Let's see. Da 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 da. Small Stas says, I can hear the sound effect of that rock being pushed down a hill. If you say it like that, I'm hearing it as well. Coffee and Cheese podcast, everybody. No, not yet. We'll save the Coffee and Cheese podcast for later in the stream. Miyoki asks, have you played Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy? On the level I've played it a gazillion times. I've played that game so much back in the day. We got a Super Nintendo at the end of the Super Nintendo's life, so to say. Touch Fuzzy Get Dizzy. I'm checking first if it's got unique music. I'm not sure, honestly. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was thinking of the monkeys when I hear this. Okay, let's give it a try. There's also the world map music, which is really short, but also quite nice. Let's think. Oh my god. This game is like in a different part of my memory because I played it so much when I was little. Just gonna look it up. I'm so ashamed. Island world map. Just a few seconds. Exactly. Yeah. That's just the sound font from the Super Nintendo. See you later, Xavier. Miyoki says, I always loved how the world map added new instruments after every boss. Yeah, it was something, I think that was one of the first instances of dynamic music implementation that I really noticed. Especially like from like World 5 on or something, like some strings get added and it becomes really full. Love it so much. I love it. Hey, Mandelion, welcome. Good evening, Alicia. Yue, welcome. Missed quite a few folks here. Super secret, hi. Billionaire, good morning. Alaya, have a good lunch. Yeah, there's something special about the Mario 64 credits music. I never heard it because, as I said, I didn't own a Nintendo 64 back in the day. Like my parents graciously bought my older brother and I a Super Nintendo, and we bought off all our all the extra money we'd get from having good school grades. Like every good school grade from the rest of our life, we wouldn't get any money anymore, but we did get a Super Nintendo. So I'm not sure if that was a financially sensible thing to do in the end. We always had good grades, but yeah, we were very happy with it. And because it was in the end of the Super Nintendo generation, we got a Super Nintendo with the Mario All-Stars plus Mario World cartridge. So that meant we immediately had like 4 of the best games made until that point to play, which was amazing. And then friends of mine got the Nintendo 64 like a few months after that, and first I was a little bummed out. And I was blown away by the sweet 3D graphics. But you know, those Super Nintendo games hold up so well, and every time I went back home to play on my Super Nintendo again, I was never disappointed because those games just felt at least as good, like from a gameplay standpoint, maybe even better than the early 3D games on the Nintendo 64. But especially seeing Ocarina of Time, but also Mario 64 for the first time, those are very vivid memories in my mind. That was crazy stuff to see, but it was much too complicated for me to wrap my head around. So yeah, very glad to have owned a Super Nintendo. And then, because everybody was getting Nintendo 64s, there was lots of second-hand Super Nintendo games. So we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So being able to rent or buy those games for cheap was allowed us to play lots of things. We had a Star Fox, we had Super Mario Kart. Yeah, most of the classics. No Zelda, by the way, because top-down stuff didn't really interest me at the time. Guru, welcome. Rachel, thanks so much for your super chat. World 8 version of the music with Tim would be cocofied with mouth trumpet. Did Yoshi's Island have 8 worlds? Or is that a different game? Maybe it had 8 worlds. My mind says 6, but... World 8? Is there a World 8? 6 worlds. Lots of suggestions I haven't gotten to, sorry, but... Yeah, I'll get to them. I'm still in my Yoshi's Island trip. Hey, Ulysses, welcome. Scott has an interesting question, a technique question. Scott asks, how do you keep a steady left hand accompaniment scheme when you are improvising with your right hand without getting messed up rhythmically? I'm still getting messed up little bits, but I try to make something of my messes, so to speak. English! So let's say I improvise to some Super Mario Galaxy music. Super Mario Galaxy is not nostalgic to me that much because I was like 18 when I played it. But you know, quality, it's so high quality stuff. So let's take the Comet Observatory. We'll edit that out. Ooh. So when I'm improvising like this, honestly, I focus on the accompaniment most. And every time when I've got the accompaniment like very comfortable in my mind, then I can start doing weird things with the right hand. So most important thing for me is to keep the rhythm going, to keep it steady. An itching noise. To keep it steady and stable, so to speak. Because if the backdrop is nice and steady, then improvising is also easier. So I'm not going wild with the improvisation, at least in the start. For example, when I have a chord change and the accompaniment is difficult, this example, the accompaniment is very easy, but just as an example, if there's a chord change, I don't play. Because it's improvisation, so I can always leave out some notes, that's no problem. So for example, if I don't play any notes during the chord changes, you get something like this. So I can focus on the accompaniment better. Playing very little with the chord changes. And with a thing like with Yoshi's Island, make sure that I'm playing an accompaniment pattern that's very comfortable for me. So playing octaves like this, that's something I have in my muscle memory. So I don't go wild with the accompaniment. So if the accompaniment is very easy, then I have more brain time to play the right hand, so to speak. And also in this case, I'm trying to play notes in my right hand at the same moment as when there's notes in the left hand. So I try to have lots of points where the rhythms of both hands converge. So I have new anchor points, so to speak. So that helps. So if you have lots of anchor points where both hands are the same, where you improvise with the right hand and play a chord in the same moment as the accompaniment in the left hand. And also something you might have noticed just now, when I was doing the run up in the right hand, I was having trouble, of course, because that's me. I left out some notes in my left hand so I could focus on the right hand. So it's a constant dance of your attention between the accompaniment and the improvisation. But I definitely start out with keeping your focus on the accompaniment as much as possible and keeping the improvisation nice and simple. Hey, Lemon Games, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Lemon Games says, can you play Area 0 from Pokemon Scarlet? Always love your streams. Thanks so much. I can look it up for sure, and then maybe I can play along. Last time I played along with the Pokemon track, and I really liked it, so... hype! Area 0... typing. Area 0 Scarlet... There we go. Ooh. Nice. Ooh. Nice. This is quite weird stuff for Pokemon, right? Cool. Interesting track. Scott says, and I completely agree, not used to Pokemon music having such an ominous vibe. Yeah, it's sounds like final area kind of stuff. I had to, had forgotten to get my pedal at the right spot, my like my accelerator pedal that I use for some effects. So I had to dive to get my pedal because I wanted to use it. So yeah. Hey Monty Renee, good luck cleaning the house. I know how that feels. Hi, I see a person with a Japanese name, and I'm doing a Japanese course now with Duolingo, so I do recognize the N hiragana, and I do recognize two others that I should know, but I've forgotten. But hi, thanks for being here. I'm missing so much stuff, but at least I'm playing the piano, right? I wanted to play the Mario 64 credits. I was talking about how I didn't have a Nintendo 64, so I never played much of that game. But then I heard it like last year for the first time, the Mario 64 credits music, and I was like the nostalgia hit me in the face right away. Maybe because of the sounds used, because you know that N64 sound. I do know that really well from listening to N64 music. Maybe it's the Koji Kondo vibes that just sounds like nostalgia to me. So let's give it a jam. Senkoto, thank you. Ko. Oh, I really should know the Ko at least. I think I had the Ko hiragana recently. Hey Trevor, yeah, I'm pretty close to 30k subs. Getting there, maybe before Zelda releases. Jam. Jam. Yeah. Shakalaka. that. I'm just a sucker for that 1980s style electric piano. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this one. Especially with the Koji Kondo use of major 7th style chords. Sounds like childhood. Not that I was that happy in that period, by the way, always, but you know, rose-tinted glasses and everything. Da 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 da. Miyoki says, sounds like the start of a good R&B song. It does. It's a super 90s kind of thing to do. What kind of R&B, 19s R&B do I know that he uses a DX7 EP? Well, around the side of the earth, no, she's revolving, and rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's the cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always. When I can't reveal the mystery of tomorrow. That was one of my favorite songs from the 90s, even though it's a Stevie Wonder song from the 70s. It's so good. Sing it. Not sure how far I can get. There's some funky stuff going on in the harmonies there. A little bit lower. Can't reveal the mystery of tomorrow. And it's some Stevie Wonder kind of a list lyrics. Just as hate knows love's the cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always. Until the rainbow burns the stars out of the sky. Until the ocean covers every mountain high. Until the parrots fly and dolphins live at sea. Oh, that's a different one. Until they dream of life and life becomes a dream. Did you know that true love asks for nothing? Well, this stream really took a turn, didn't it? Your acceptance is the way we pay. Did you know that life has given love a guarantee to last forever another day? Okay, we're gonna do a cheese R&B cheese stream soon, right? Stevie Wonder stream when? Stevie Wonder is really difficult, by the way. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Okay, yeah. We're gonna do that. But maybe on April 1st or something, we'll do a completely out of whack, different kind of stuff stream, okay? Anyways. Thanks everybody for the kind words. Lots of interesting talk that I missed. Yeah, Nintendo Music really likes doing constant key changes. Something I like to do myself as well. I do think, by the way, the DK64 soundtrack is written by Grant Kirkhope, Trevor. Like the man with the farty tubas. He also wrote for Banjo-Kazooie. Scott says something that's very interesting from a music theory standpoint, something I'm not particularly good at. Trevor says that the DK64 soundtrack also loved going from minor chords to half step up major chords. Okay, so... like that. This is Instant, Twilight Princess. I'm not sure what song it is. Oh, I think it's the Light Spirit thing. That's a beautiful song, by the way. This stream is kind of all over the place. I hope you're you're all along for the ride. Maybe it's from the Zelda Reorchestrated Twilight Princess Symphony that starred, or from the 25th anniversary CD. Oh yeah. Good one. The Four Giants. Maybe that's it. Oath to Order. It's definitely a good point, Trevor, about that harmonic idea. Four Giants, Majora's Mask. Looping samples here. Yeah, thank you so much. That's it, Aspiring Heroes. That's very interesting. That's a very pretty song. Yeah. Hey, Examente. Sadike, welcome. Sadika says, finally we're catching a stream. Woo! Da 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 da. I'm playing the piano for a long time now. Currently 34. Started playing keyboards when I was 7, and I got a piano when I was 9. So you do the math. A long time. But I've never really been a virtuoso pianist. But I do really love following my ears, and it's something that I've been focusing on exclusively on the piano ever since I finished conservatory. So I haven't read much sheet music at all. Random Citizen, whoa! Random Citizen comes in with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Random Citizen. Random Citizen says, I'm late, but now I'm here. Super chat! Man, that was beautiful. Thanks so much. If there's anything that you want me to play, Random Citizen, please let me know. I can do the Astral Observatory. Let's see if I can play it from heart, because it's a difficult one. I'm gonna give it a try. Ta. I'm reverting back to Oath to Order for some reason, so I'm gonna look up the sheet music. There's a few chord progressions that kind of throw me off in this song, so I need a little bit of assistance. I also made it kind of complicated because I combined the piano and the harpsichord parts in the arrangement. Doobie-doo-wah. Yeah, so I accidentally went to Oath to Order anyways. Komarebi asks, do you already know if you stream Zelda here on YouTube or maybe on Twitch? I've kind of considered it a while back, and that's when I made that poll. Maybe you remember when I was like, "Hey, folks, what would you like to see from me?" And initially, that one came out very low on the poll, and I was like, "Yeah, not giving that too much priority right now." But it's still an idea that's somewhere in the back of my mind. I do have just the stuff here to start streaming. You know, I have 2 capture cards for the 2 cameras that I'm using. So yeah, it's definitely still a possibility, but I'm not completely sure yet if that's worth doing over other stuff that I'm currently doing. Would be fun to then put down the controller and play the music that I'm hearing. That's an interesting idea. Missed lots of stuff. Minor Key Parasail music. Rainbow Road from Double Dash. There's already also some stuff further up the chat. Someone was talking about Gustav Holst and Hyrule Castle. It was an interesting one. Let's see. Oh my god, Nintendo was going ham with the Mario marketing. So much Mario stuff everywhere. New 2D Mario when? Really like myself. An actually new one. I think. What was I gonna do? Rainbow Road from Double Dash. I have to be honest that Double Dash, that Mario Kart soundtracks between Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 8 often aren't really my thing. But I can give it a try. Dankjewel, Joris. The groove here. It's a good groove. It's a nice groove. It's very groovy. I like that. Does remind me of the GOAT Mario Kart Rainbow Road track though, which is Mario Kart 8, obviously. Hey, Tuneforge, welcome. Was one of the first arrangements I made actually, Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road. Let's jam. Oopsie. This is key change all the time. There's probably people on the stream right now are nostalgic for Mario Kart 8, by the way. Oh yeah, it's awesome. I love all of them. I also like the original one and the Nintendo 64 one for sure. Daddly dom bom bam bom bam. Squip boo. Kind of distracted by the kids next door. My son and his friend, they just watched Porco Rosso and the movie's over, so they're not sure what they're doing. I think they're having fun, kind of tussling over each other on the couch. We'll see. Komarebi has a question about an affordable microphone for recording violin in the future. Use my Audio Technica AT2020 USB with my smartphone. Let's look that one up. AT2020. Audio Technica is a reasonably well-regarded brand. If you really want to step up from that, yeah, the Shure SM57 is a good one as well. You know, as far as what's professional, what's not professional, that's always a little bit wonky with audio gear, because something's professional when professionals use it, and professionals use all kinds of stuff, depending on what's needed. So the SM57 is definitely a mic that's used for all kinds of things in professional environments, so you can't really go wrong with that. I'm not sure about the AT2020. It's probably not bad. It kind of depends, you know, like with lots of audio gear, like the first 200-300 euros, you're getting real steps up in audio quality if it's well-reviewed stuff, and after that you're hitting diminishing returns. So you have to kind of decide for yourself if it's worth investing more into it. For example, I've just been on a headphones binge, as some of you might know. You can get a really good headphone for like 250 euros. That'll get you 75% of the way of excellent sound. Then if you want better sound, you have to go to headphones that are 500 or maybe 700 euros, etc. And there are still gains to be had, but it's not as much as in those lower tiers. So if you're looking to record your violin, I'd say don't spend much more than like 150, maybe 200 euros for a microphone. And if it's a USB one, that's probably all right. There was recently a USB microphone that also had an XLR connection for if you want to connect it to a interface. But you know, nowadays, lots of those USB connections are really high quality as well, reasonably high quality. So you probably won't hear much of a difference unless you go to audio interfaces and microphone preamps that are really expensive. So I'd say, yeah, keep it. Don't go overboard with the cost of that kind of stuff. And this is coming from someone who just bought a headphone that cost 2,000 euros. So for me, that was worth it. But especially if you're just starting out, training your ears as well, what kind of sound you like. Yeah. I'm gonna ask the kids if they can find somewhere else. Just a second. Hoi schatjes. Jullie storen mij een beetje. Dus als jullie willen rollen en bollen, dan liever boven. Of buiten, maar buiten regent het waarschijnlijk. Waar moest dat nu? Yeah, I'm currently using Austrian audio microphones. This is an Austrian audio one, and the ones I use for instrument recording, these ones are also Austrian audio. Really like that stuff. And I combine it with some nice, reasonably high-end stuff because I'm a nerd. But Austrian audio is definitely just a little bit more expensive. Austrian audio. Let's see if they have something that's more affordable. Yeah, you can look it up. Austrian audio, they're called. Like audio from Austria. People that used to work for AKG, and then AKG closed their original laboratories in Austria, and then those people started for themselves. They're not cheap, but they're definitely boxing above their grade a little bit. Random Citizen confirms something that I hoped for. Most everybody in here is a nerd, Tim. That's good. That's fine. All right, let's play some music. How about that? You're from Austria? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, look them up. Austrian audio is great stuff. Yeah. All right, let's go. idea, by the way, if that's the Link to the Past version or the Link Between Worlds version, because I never really played much of Link to the Past. Link to the Past, Death Mountain. Maybe the B part is from Link Between Worlds and the A part is from... E? This is a weird harmony right here. It's a little bit different than how I played it. No, it's in the original as well. Ah, this is... Yeah. It is quite different from the Link Between Worlds version. Okay, yeah. I'm definitely playing the Link Between Worlds version. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of insecure if I was just playing the Imperial March stuff through that, but it's just yeah. It's the Zelda version of that essentially. I like it very much. Yeah, the dungeon music before Mascotia is called The Final Trial, I think. I made an arrangement of it. It's kind of chill. I really like it. I'm not sure if it translates to solo piano very well, because in the arrangement I used guitar and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Final Trial, right? PDF? Maybe it's in the Breath of the Wild sheet music ebook that's available for patrons. That was a very nasty plug. Page 72. Yeah, so kind of reminder. I made a 120-page sheet music ebook with all my Breath of the Wild arrangements, bundled with some nice extra tips and stuff. It's for patrons, €5 and up. So if that sounds like your thing, you can check it out on my Patreon. Patreon. How can I do this so I can read the chat and also the sheet music like this? Okay, let's give this a try. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm gonna turn this into a thing with echo and stuff. Some nice feedback. That's a little bit much. That's better. Thank you so much, Mandelion, for the super chat. Mandelion, you're also a Patreon, right? Thanks so much for your support. Lemon Games, thank you as well. Lemon Games has an interesting question. Can you play a combo of Path of the Wind from Totoro and Ballad of the Windfish? Well, let's find out together, I'd say. Let's see. Honestly, I don't know much more than that. I just accidentally hit the right chord in the beginning. But the rest I don't really know. I do know, I love the, there's an album called Break and Boost with some jazzy and very metal-like arrangements from Octopath Traveler. And the Battle 1 version of that is so awesome. Hey, Rayosha says, hello from Japan. Nice arrangement. Thank you so much. There was another Japanese person earlier up that said something in Japanese. I'm going to put it through Google Translate because I do recognize, I think it's ka, and I do recognize, I think it's su. But that's, and I recognize ta as well, I think. Languages are not my strongest suit, but it's fun though, so why not? Macau. Not sure what that means. Oh, Kidan, thank you for the £2, I think. Super chat. Can you play any Lord of the Rings songs? I can give it a try at least. I used to be, when the movies were just out, I used to play, in school, and everybody thought it was really cool. That's about how far as my Lord of the Rings stuff comes. Do you have a suggestion, Kiedon, so I can have a listen and maybe play along with it? It's so great, especially that's. I'm missing many questions today. There's just lots of folks in the chat, which is a very cozy feeling, but I can't answer everything. But that's a very good bass line that's walking up, harmonized in a cool way. So it's almost, they jump some, he jumps a little bit here and there. Let's see, Kiran, concerning hobbits. Okay, let's have a listen. I did watch all those movies back in the theater. And I adored the first one. I was annoying my family the rest of that year by comparing everybody, saying who would be a good elf and stuff like that. Poor folks. Copyright claim in 3, 2, 1, go. That's something different. Hey, facility use, welcome. Oh yeah, it's a very one-on-one. It sounds like Holst combined with Kokiri Forest. Get better soon, Graham. Hope it's not too bad. That's nice. Okay, we're keeping that. Is the One Ring theme like a dee-dee? Yeah, exactly. There was a weird transition there. Yeah, that's an interesting song for sure. It's very simple, but it's very powerful as well. Lots of very old people here in the chat because people keep asking for Gustav Holst, and who's been dead for like 100 years already, but they're still nostalgic for Holst. Okay, interesting. Let's see. It was a question about Hyrule Castle and Mars from the planets. That's an interesting question. This is such a weird stream, but I like it. I like how unhinged it all is. I haven't done any chicken music yet, though, so it could be worse. Holst, Mars. But those pieces are quite long, so I'm not sure which part exactly I do. Hit it just long, and so far it's been impossible for me to parse what I'm hearing harmonically. So there's a steady bass, and then there's all kinds of weird stuff happening on top. It's cool though. That would be a very cool version of Hyrule Castle. Bing. Nadir says, "Bum bum 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 Mars incoming." HOZ says, "Hi Tim, I'm playing Skyward Sword after many years and I've been listening to the soundtrack. Last Friday I bought Hyrule Highlands 2 on Bandcamp and I love your rendition of Ballad of the Goddess." Thank you so much, HOZ. Scott says, "You just made my day." Thanks so much, Scott. Sorry that I'm not answering to all of your theory questions. I'd love to answer them, but I also want to keep playing the piano and not talking too much. By the way, I'm sitting kind of out of frame the entire time, isn't it? That's a little weird. Come on, Mr. Cameraman. That's better? That's better. My microphone is also falling over. My god. Okay. Yeah. Okay, is everything under control? Everything's under control. Aw, Yue says, "If you enjoyed this album, I recommend checking out his other works with Open Air 1 and 2, which has some beautiful original Zelda-inspired tracks." Thank you so much, Yue. Yeah, I'm very happy with Open Air 1 and 2. And this is a nice segue into another newer thing that I've got on Bandcamp right now, which I made a community post on. I've been doing the soundtrack to a game that's currently in a Kickstarter. It's called Soulstalkers. I've been working on it since November, working on the music, that is. And its developer, Conrad, he essentially wants me to write a soundtrack that's almost entirely consists of combat music, because it's a kind of a Vampire Survivors-like game, it's a reverse bullet hell, so you're continuously shooting lots of projectiles to lots of enemies, so there has to be a lot of combat music. And the first 9 tracks of that soundtrack are now also on Bandcamp and will be on streaming soon. So if you like that, you can check it out. If you like my open air stuff, that is. It's very... it's a little bit in between Hyrule Highlands and open air in style. So it's Celtic, but a little bit more orchestrated. So I can play a little bit of that. It's I like it quite much. So if that sounds good to you, and then you have to imagine like the accordion and the guitars and the drums and stuff, definitely check it out. It's on my Bandcamp, so timdemon.bandcamp.com, and it will be on streaming hopefully within this month. And the Kickstarter is still going on. It's already funded. currently trying to go for 200% funding. So that's very nice. So we'll be composing a lot of stuff these coming months, which is really nice because composing is my thing. HC says, I've bought Open Air 1 last month and really liked it, and picked up Open Air 2 together with Hyrule Highlands 2. Ah, thank you so much for the support. It's appreciated. UA says, gave them a listen the other day. Great tracks, and I really enjoyed the ghost hunting business themes. Yeah, so each combat track tries to pull from a different game music soundtrack. So example, ghost hunting business is more in the Xenoblade-y kind of territory, a little bit more jazzy. Mandyline, thanks so much for the super chat. Mandyline says, great stream, definitely one of my favorites. Thank you so much. Possibly to be surpassed by your April 1st Stevie Wonder stream. I do have a list of songs that I used to sing when I was still doing live concerts, so maybe I can put that out of the drawer. Okay, so time for some final songs before I'm off to make some dinner for the family here. For the fam, going from playing piano for one fam to making dinner for the other fam. Let's see, Romance in the Air, yeah, that's a nice one. And then I think we're gonna call it a day. I feel like Dexter, you know, for the other old people who've ever seen the cartoon Dexter's Lab. I feel like Dexter every time I've written a track for games that I'm involved in as a composer. I've always had the feeling, oh, this is the best thing I've ever written, and then 2 weeks later, when I finished another thing, oh, this is the best thing I've ever written. But you know, it does. It's very inspiring to always try to up my game, so to speak. So it's all fine. Oh yeah, and the third combat track for that soundtrack is Total Heights inspired. It's very similar to Total Heights, but then it kind of veers off into its own territory. It even starts like very close to that, at least. Then my own track goes like, I don't even remember because it's so similar. Then it goes into another direction. But it's very Zelda-like. Okay, Romance in the Air. Let's give it a try. Kind of thinking of Crimson Loftwing, but that's not the right one, obviously. Oh yeah. Romance in the Air, featured on Hyrule Highlands 2, which can be seen in the corner. Oh no, now it's another album. Whatever. Here we go. Thanks for the kind words, UA. Alrighty, so we all know what time it is. I'm going to get obnoxiously close to the microphone and play my favorite podcasting music. I'm going to shout out my patrons. My top tier patrons. Yeah, I got a list. I've got a list. So Patreon and streaming, so Spotify and Apple Music, kind of keep this channel afloat. And I mean that genuinely. Like I posted on Twitter this week what I made that week with ad income on YouTube, and it's not very much. It's like tens of euros a week, so it doesn't really keep this thing afloat. But Patreon and streaming really does. So I want to shout out all my lovely patrons, namely HSPER, and if I pronounce your name in a weird way, because I do, please let me know how you should pronounce your name. NS, who has been a patron for a long time, thanks so much, NS, and he has often been in the stream as well. Aspiring Hero Games, another of the streaming folks. Clown Piers. Flashing Fire, I think Flashing Fire is a newer one, welcome, thanks so much. George R. Rio S. Joshua. Mandy Lion is also from streaming fame. Chat fame. Masatoshi, thank you so much. Mono Man, Patrick, and a Random Citizen, thank you so much for your support. And also all the other people in the other tiers. I love you equally. And also everybody who's not able or currently not in a position to support me, I love you as well. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for everybody in the stream for chatting with me today. It's been fun. I like how this stream kind of went all over the place. There was some music theory, there was some Zelda, there was some Mario, Yoshi's Island stuff. There was a lot of Gustav Holst for some strange reason, but it was all good. So thank you all so much for stopping by. Have a great weekend, and let's see what the coming weeks bring. Don't have any specific plans yet, so I'll surprise you and myself as well, I guess. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.